गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमस्ते शारदा देवी काश्मीरपुरवासिनी विद्यादानं करिष्यामि मे सदा। ओम श्री सद्गुरुदेवाय नमः। हरि ओम। I will share my screen. Any questions anybody has for the last session?
No, Dhavalji. No, uh, actually, I thought of applying it somewhere, but don't know where to apply. If you can provide some exercises, it would be even more
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. I was thinking about the same. So
Uh,
probably by end of today's session, we will also have some exercise question.
yeah, great.
Uh, um, what I will do is create some sort of a page which you will have to implement in HTML. Now, let us get back to where we were. So we went over the semantic HTML portion and the importance selecting proper tags has on what happens with the content, especially with respect to accessibility. So the best way to think about the output of what we are serving is to think about how people will access this content with non-conventional means like screen reader. If we can think about that, it will force us to think about structuring the content properly and you know making things more meaningful. For example, a site can be very much meaningful visually when you take a look at it. It is laid out properly in terms of visual hierarchy, but sometimes what happens is the site will not make as much sense if it is read out. If the title is not given properly, even the title does not have enough information, then the person who is going to access the site does not know what this page is all about. Okay, this is very important. We think that giving a title and making it bold and making it look like it is the title of the page is in itself sufficient, but that is usually not the case. A person if is accessing the page through a screen reader would want to understand what is this page all about, and what will happen is the program will read out some title, and based on that he will try to make a sense of the page, what it is all about, and whether he actually wants to go through the page or not. Okay, what we expect people to do is give all the information and have them go through the page visually and skim over the page visually and see if they want to interact with a certain section or not. Okay, and in doing that, what we typically comfortably do is put in a lot of content on the page. Okay, thinking that this person can easily access all the sections of the page and let them decide what to do. But if you think about people who cannot see properly or who cannot easily go through different sections of the pages, or if they see, they are able to see only a certain area of the page at a time, then we can understand that providing a proper structure, meaningful content is very, very important, because they might want to make out of the page from very small context itself. And, in that case, following this semantic that, let there be a proper page title, let each sections have proper subtitles, let the organization of the content in a page be proper and, easy to understand, all those things suddenly start making a lot of sense. Clear? Any questions there?
Very clear, Dhavalji.
No, Dhavalji.
Okay, because, for example, this site. Okay, now this site may have a lot of content. And if it is not clear from the title itself what this page does, then the user will have to go through this page before deciding what to do with this page. Okay, so we have to think about how people access our software and content, and then, think about rendering it correctly. Okay, and as we will start doing these exercises, you will realize that very less part is actually about coding. Okay, a lot of the portion is actually about thinking how users are accessing our software, what is it that will make actual sense to them, and what they can do and what they cannot do. Okay, so now that is one, ensuring that the content is structured and meaningful, and why that is so important. Now let us go to another area of HTML, where we are providing content which is not just text. Okay, so HTML can also have content which is rich content like images, audio, and video. Okay, but now, if that is the case, think how the people who cannot see will access this page. Okay, we might think about creating a page with a lot of bells and whistles, lot of good icons, lot of visual visually rich interface. But we might realize that none of that is actually important for accessibility. Sometimes, in fact, relying too much on that will come in the way of accessibility, because we are thinking that this is a visual button and it looks good and it has some call to action which is in a form of an icon, and user can click on that. But at the same time, if a person cannot see, then the icon will not make any sense to them, button will not make any sense to them. Clear? So what we need to do here is to ensure that the content which is non-textual content or visually rich content is also accessible to the users. Okay, for example, this icon, if I look at this icon, are you seeing a tag called ARIA label?